like Big Chuck.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
Check it, yo. I always be analyzing to see who's fake. People acting Janice, running around two-faced, talking behind my back until they put in their place. You're a 2-course meal without saying grace on the internet. Talking shit through your fingertips, talking high power till your shine is eclipsed. Trying to ride a wave until your mind is seasick. Cement shoes and your ankles tied with 3 bricks. This isn't Grand Theft Auto, this is real life. I will piss on your grave and throw dick to your wife. This is a warning mixed with some advice. You might be king, but I'm the ace of spades, and you just reneged. This is food for thought, bitch, eat a grenade. This is what people want, to be treated like dirt. I tried being humble, but that was absurd. All the brainless pigeons flock together like birds, pecking for crumbs until they merge with the crossroads and chuck the demi-urge. I think they had enough, I took the trash to the curb. Let the torture begin and watch them burn. Here's the urn.
It's hard to keep it real with fake people. They can take love, mix it with hate, and make evil. I'm staring at 50 shades of gray people. It's a brand deception, like K-Vino. They are who they say they isn't. On the internet, spreading everybody's business through a troll account. Talking foul, not knowing what goes around comes around. The flat out truth is the energy change when I come around. I guess London Bridge is falling down. Hey people, slowly more. We know all about the narrative painted to control the clout. They gatekeepers trying to stop the ones trying to awake people. HOTC.
Cartel stand bricks, flew the coupe like Toodaloo. Landed in Koreatown cause K-pop's when units move. Snooze you lose. The crew abused the truce. The ops was on Coronado, watch them down like who is you? Stupid moves. You talking bricks but never knew Jerus. He ain't my dog, he gave the boys in blue a clue. Corned beef, pastrami, matzo ball, noodle soup. Fentanyl for cheap at Langer's Deli, Jew approved. You can call it cocaine, soft or Cuban food. She a barefoot zombie used to dance for 2 Live Crew. Who my boo? She goes to town last night, a fiend dreams for you. Everything she owns stuffed in a vehicle. Eating shrooms, I try to seek the truth. The demons moving through MacArthur Park and eating in people's scenic view. Read the news, the graffiti sings the blues. The 18s hit Picasso's like Picasso to the east of Hoover. MS regrouping, recruiting teams of shooters. Peep the bloopers, shake the 8-ball and see the future. Chicken heads with no meat on their bones like wings at Hooters. Zombies tooting lines like marching bangs, strings and tubas. Been a loser, word to back, past the Percocets. If the Fetty Wap track slap too hard, it's certain death. Pure as heck, if you owe the block, no black disciple. Your knockout, so get knocked up, no Katherine Heigl. I'm dope in the stash, so pure and match my Bible. Thou shalt not worship plastic idols.
Shout out to Lush One. This dude's serious when it comes to bars. dog gave the boys in blue. He said, you know that dog, Blue's Clues? He said, my dog. Anyway, the way he said it with Blue's Clues and the dog, that shit was dope. Let's see who's in here. What's up, Jay Hyan? Oh man, that's terrible, Jay Hyan. I wonder how the hell they be digging these graves up in the winter. I pass by cemeteries every day. Then I start to think, the cemeteries where I live haven't even grown. Like, where the fuck are all these bodies going? Yeah, now that I think about it. There's only one cemetery that grows, and that's only because it has an open spot. But the rest of them just stay the same. It's weird. Maybe they're pushing for people to get fucking cooked. Or they're chopping people up for some burgers. I wouldn't doubt it. Every answer we want, well, not every answer, but most of the answers are underground. I can only imagine the stuff they grow in these laboratories. Like, these people got the top of the top scientists. And if people don't think they've already figured out how to grow the top of the top notch fruit and vegetables with the most um, health benefits, come on. Um, that's what the government hires these people for. Yeah. What's up, Max? I can only imagine the good food they grow in their laboratories underground. It's probably packed with health benefit. Um, these powerful minds don't go to waste after they enslave them. That's why it's good to not have any vices. Then they can't hold nothing over your head. Hmm. Yeah, I've noticed that too with the storage units. And another thing is too, I've noticed in the cities, people that were homeless were like in the cut. Like, it's hard to explain, but like certain parts of the highway, they could go up in these pieces of woods and no one sees them. Right, out of sight, out of mind. The best thing. Nope. The state is coming in. They cut all them woods out everywhere, walking down the whole highway. It's not funny, but it's like, and then Trump signs that thing. It's illegal to be fucking homeless. Like, what? Huh. Damn, 500 stores. Welcome to 7-Eleven. I don't like America. but I take your money. Man, I gotta figure out a routing number. It's wild when I see people giving sympathy to the government and the police. Like, I think about, like, a lot of the youth, they didn't have a chance to see how it was in America before the police were militarized. People weren't getting pulled over for cracked headlights, tinted windows, right? You play your music a little loud, they pull you over. Like, this isn't America no more. Not the America I remember. You know, it's ridiculous out here. Hey, what happened? Oh, what's up, Mac?
Good morning.
Um, they've militarized the police.
Afternoon.
It's insane, man. Like, I watched them train the police. They train the police at the new police station down here
That's what
by
the
the
police need
hundreds.
is armored personnel carriers, right?
Yeah, they have them too. Tanks, with the battering ram on them. Oh
Hmm.
man, they got squads, SWAT squads. Like, this is the war on the people. And the sad part is most people don't get it. They think the police are there to help. I mean, they people could think what they want. I'm just saying how I see it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying.
I got construction in the background. If it gets too much, I'll mute up. So,
It's not loud.
yeah,
I was just
they're jackhammering the underground next door to us.
I was just telling people how before the police are militarized in America, they weren't pulling people over for fucking hints and music, noise pollution, all this dumb shit. DUIs everywhere now. Like, these people, the police have really become like road pirates. Like,
Huh.
it's all about revenue. How can we squeeze the people out of money?
Yeah. Yeah, they say they don't rely on quotas, but
Yeah,
at the end of
right.
the month, they sure as hell do rack up a lot.
Mhm.
Right?
I even see it. I learned that when I was like 15 about quotas.
Yeah. It may not be official quotas, but they certainly seem to run by them. Yeah, there was another grocery or a chain that closed in Canada too. The fucking I forget the name of it, but it's not one that's around here. It's a kind of out east or out west. Then all of our steel industry left, except for the one that our prime minister has investments in. Isn't that convenient? And
Same
yes,
here. All our steel plants closed down. Stanley Works used to get a lot of steel. They had the machines and them stamp machines. Boom, boom,
yeah,
shit would be going all night. I miss them days. Then you would hear the burn at noon. It would be lunchtime.
yeah.
That's how we would know it was noontime, and we would skip school on the railroad tracks. We never got caught because who's gonna get out their car? The cops? I never knew back then that the railroad tracks is federal property, so they couldn't even go down there and check if that's what they wanted. I didn't even know that till I got older.
Yeah.
But yeah, America is just, it's, I don't know, man, it's gone. It's terrible, and
Yeah.
people don't. I don't. It's like everyone's under some mass hypnosis, man. It's weird to me.
Yeah.
Because growing up,
I'm
people
amazed.
weren't like this.
Yeah.
Not even the elders when I was growing up. People wouldn't speak about it, but they weren't with the system. They wanted to be left alone and be free. But I don't know what happened to them people. I don't really see elderly no more. But what do they do to all the elderly people?
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting up there, so I might find out soon. Maybe they'll put me in a camp somewhere.
Man,
I hope not, but you never know.
it sucks when you get older because I'm glad I don't have a family to sign me over to one of the places, because who knows, when you sign them papers over to a place,
Yeah.
they could do all types of experiments on you because you done signed that paperwork. And I
Yeah.
guarantee you most families don't even read that shit. They just want to get rid of their family. And in Japan and shit, in China, there ain't no old folks' homes. People take care of their parents till they pass away, like you're supposed to.
Yeah. Used to be. But that's when we had generational homes too, though. So,
True.
you know.
Yeah, that could play a part too. I just want to see bitching, whatever people want to call it, when I come up here. I just
Okay.
want people to see things for what they are. That's it, man.
Yeah. Well, there's
And
enough
work.
people going to lose their jobs now that they could have home care for everybody. You know, wouldn't be such a big deal. There's your new job, your home health care. All these techie people that are going to lose their jobs to AI.
It's wild. And then what comes into play? The government. If the government pays people to stay home, guess what comes into play with that? It's like being on welfare. They're paying you, so now they have a say in everything. That's where the big mistake's going to be. You never want,
Oh, man.
even though Section 8 has helped people get off the streets, it's a good thing, but
Hmm.
in the end, I tell people that's not your apartment. They're paying most of the rent. They could come in that bitch whenever they want. You technically have no say so.
Yeah. Brown
It's
eyed girl.
terrible. And that's another thing. There's a lot of homeless people, and they just keep arresting them instead of fixing the problem or helping people. Why don't they take $100 billion? Hey, Candy. Why don't they take $1 billion or $100 million, I mean, and put it into helping people?
Where would they ever get that? That's not for Ukraine or Israel, right? It's not for bombs.
Yeah. It probably isn't. It's probably for their sexual parties and fucking lining their pockets.
Yeah, they're getting in trouble now, Ukraine, for buying houses and stuff and cars. Apparently in Monaco, the lion's share of cars that are like Uber, worth your house, are owned by Ukrainians who bought villas there. So a lot of Ukrainian generals and politicians have scooped all the money up.
Man, Ukraine has been playing America since day one.
Yeah. In Canada, we said, fuck, $10 billion that we couldn't afford. We had that Nazi up in Parliament. Man. Yeah, we really sold hard for Ukraine. But a lot of our politicians are Ukrainian. An assassination attempt on Zelensky? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Wow.
He killed like a couple million of his own people for nothing. For him to get rich and others.
What a
I'd be pretty
scumbag.
pissed too. I'd be pretty fucking pissed. Right?
Look at
If I were like in Ukraine right now, I would probably do that because they're just going to scoop you up and throw you on the front lines and let you die anyway. Might as well go out in a blaze of glory, you know, taking out a fucking shitbag politician.
I'm down to take him out to eat, cut off his feet, and tell him to run. I'll fucking break his kneecaps and tell him to walk it off. I'll fucking sew his eyelids open and keep feeding him sleeping pills. That sounds trippy. It sounds like a fucking...
Yeah, it could be entirely propaganda, Brown-Eyed Girl. They might think that they could somehow, you know, gain some type of sympathy for him or something, you know? Kind of like they did with Trump.
Man.
On an airplane, it was a military drone. Okay. Neat. So nobody could ever see that, you know. They could just make it up.
When was this? So he allegedly got trying to take out again?
Yeah, she said that they sent a drone after his plane, but you'd never have any evidence of that, right? So they could just make it up.
You see this? This is the shit I'm talking about. They're doing this purposely so they could put more. They want to push this digital ID, and they want to act like they're in a threat because they're listening when the people are talking and they're fed up with all this shit. So now this is how they're gonna fight back. Is they're gonna say they're in danger? People are trying to attack them. We need to put in this chip and this and that and trackers and it. Watch, I'm telling you, this is how they're gonna fight back. They're gonna use that as an excuse to lock everything down and fucking put everyone in the system.
No.
Which we already are, but you know what I mean, like digital IDs and
rising crime, fraud, all that, you know, internet fraud. You got to be tagged.
It's always their safety first.
Yeah. Then you've got such a corrupt government. Well, you should replace your government with AI. That'll be better, eh?
Oh, fuck that.
That's one thing I think that might be on the block, right? Because our governments are just so freaking incompetent, right?
So is AI. AI can't even answer a question half the time.
Oh, I know it'll be much worse, but they'll try to push people towards that through a corrupt government. Say, look, we found out corruption. Oh my God, we have to fix it. Let's get AI. AI governance.
Man, our best bet is to come together and clean house. That's one thing these people fear is us coming together. I'm telling you. That's why they created racism and all these different ways to keep us from coming together.
Yeah. And they've imported problems for us too. Like in Canada, we've got two factions of Indian people fighting each other. They also hate the Muslims. Muslims hate the Jews. The Jews hate the Muslims. So they brought a whole bunch of fights over here from the third world, and we got to clean that up too, unfortunately. Yeah, getting our government straightened up would be good first. Now my brother believes me about the jab.
That's sad, Jay Hyten. I hate when people pass away. I was just thinking about that this morning. I was thinking about all the people that I started to write a rhyme about it. I think about my friends and family every single day. There isn't a day that goes by I don't keep them alive in my mind. I'm either going crazy, I just can't let it. Some people will let it go. I can't. I feel like, that's the least I could do.
68. That's wow.
That's young, That's young.
Yep.
We should be living to
retirement.
200. I think we could live to 200, 300 years old if we were eating right.
They say 120 is easily doable, or should be, by our genetics.
Mm-hmm. Lady said in Japan until the Americans arrived.
Yeah.
They had a certain area, the island in Japan, where the elders were living 120, 109.
Yeah, I think that was Okinawa, Japan.
Now it's gone ever since the Americans came. God damn Americans.
Was it Okinawa? I can't remember. That might have been where they bombed.
They were eating like seaweed and,
that seaweed's really good for you. That seaweed's really good for you. You got a lot of
iodine.
iodine.
One thing about Asians, like Asian people, are very good with Mother Earth and botany. They know plants to heal. They're very intelligent in that area. Find me an Asian wife or Korean or what else?
Can have sushi all day,
Not really a fan of that stuff. Those have parasites too. Isn't sushi raw salmon or something?
Yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah, see? Ever since I saw that video with a bear having parasites and eat salmon, oh man, it makes me think like, fuck, imagine eating salmon. Oh, I mean, we're not a bear. It'd be even worse for us because we're smaller. That parasite was so big, it was dragging out its ass. Like, it was literally dragging on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, God, man. That's terrible.
Yeah, that was really gross.
Thing was like 18 feet long.
$60.
Wow.
Wow, brown-eyed girl.
22, man. That's so young.
Oh, wow. That's terrible. Yeah, I did a thing yesterday on, I did a show yesterday on the news, but we covered MAID in Canada. They're up to like 10,000 people a year killing them. It's ridiculous. And for ridiculous reasons.
I was watching John Levy. Was it him? It was one of these channels. I think it was him. And he was talking about old world Greenland. And Iceland was called Friesland, I think. And I'm thinking, he showed a map of Greenland and it had castles on it and stuff. And it just makes me think, like, who the fuck annihilated this place? What I want to know what happened. I'm sick of speculating and guessing and
Hmm.
time these people start answering some questions or we start looting these places. We need to get into that Catholic place.
Well, look at all the ice that's on Greenland. Like the fucking whole top of it's covered with ice. And Antarctic was a place people could live at one time.
Yeah.
So
They got entrances under the ice in
could
Antarctica.
be a good reason for Trump wanting that place.
Right. Let me see. All right. Yeah, something happened. I think at the North Pole was like the main source of energy, and when it blew up, that shit just went outward. Something happened to where all the ley lines malfunctioned.
For me, that would be like Jupiter coming, giving us seasons.
Could be.
I don't
I
think
don't.
seasons before because they were living on top of the world, man. In my view,
Literally, they
right?
probably were in them trees.
Yeah.
I don't know anything, but I want to know.
Well, I want to hear that song, "On Top of the World." Yeah. It's a good song.
Who, by who?
It's an old song. I forget who it's by. The Carpenters, maybe. Karen Carpenter.
Wow, I remember her. She was with the Carpenters.
Yeah.
My mother used to listen to her. My aunt. She has a good voice.
Yeah.
Wasn't she anorexic, where she would make herself throw up allegedly?
Yeah, she had some health problems and shit. I was wondering if they put any clues in that song.
Oh, what's going on here? Oh. All that just to fucking hit a button. Living on the top of the world, the top of the world. A lot of people remix that, I think. See, isn't this wild? It says, I looked up old world Greenland, and I put maps with castles and stuff because John Levy showed one. So now it says old world maps of Greenland exist, and some feature illustrations of buildings or geographic formations named castles. However, these typically depict Norse ruins or natural geological formations. They always go to that natural formation crap, always. Like, they must think we're dumb or something.
See, for me, natural formations are all dead bodies, so that's somewhat natural. I don't believe in all their tectonics and stuff like that. I don't think they're volcanoes or volcanoes. Yeah, bunch of other bullshit.
What was that, Candy? He said, I just watched a movie that was made for TV a week ago.
On Karen Carpenter, I think she's talking about
Oh,
how she had anorexia and she died at 32. Holy jeez.
wow. Yeah, I remember my, I think it was my mother or my aunt telling me, because I used to like her voice.
Yeah, she's got a great voice.
And I listen to hip hop, but like I said, I would front like I didn't like that music, but I would listen to it when I was by myself anyway. Um, and I'm glad it opened me up to other music. Oh shit, Monk Rock Whirlpool, Monk Rock Whirlpool. So that sounds like a fucking Transformers and shit. Um, man, that sounds like that's crazy. Like we're being invaded by um that's wild. It does. It does. It sounds like I forgot what them things are called. When they're transforming, they sound like that.
Oh yeah. Just hold on. See if I
It don't bother me. It just the way it sounds. It's pretty cool actually, but it don't bother me. I don't know if it bothers anyone else. It don't bother me.
Here they are with a jackhammer.
Hey, jackass with the jackhammer.
On a backhoe. Kind of looks like a transformer, right? Big arm on it. Digital ID, yeah. They tried to do it in Canada a couple times. It hasn't quite worked here yet. They'll just keep trying. Oh, Canada's on the list. Okay. Hasn't been implemented yet, but yeah, they agreed with the UN, right? Like it was a UN agreement for digital ID, I think. Coming out, your heart coming out of your body. Wow.
What's this? Shit came out blank.
I'm pretty sure that Canada has a UN resolution for it or an agreement for it. Oh yeah, it's always forced, Jay. Nobody really wants it, right? Most people understand that it's kind of a trap. That's why there were huge protests in the UK about it. They were trying to force it on people. They think it's cool? Oh my God. Be right back.
What the hell, dude? I'm gonna find this. Well, I don't want to say that, but aha, Greenland. What's this? Why do I gotta? I don't want to share. I just want to go visit. It has to be more um old Greenland maps with fucking castles on them. There's a whirlpool up here, and that's what makes me think, or know that where Mount Meru is, there's water coming in and out. I wonder if in the word continent, it was continent because Mother Earth is a woman, so there's continents. No, I'm joking. What's this? Old Greenland or Groenland? Groenland. Ifland? There's literally a name called Ifland. Yeah, I'll get to jump off here in a minute. I'll wait till it's an hour. Whoa.
Oh, it's lunchtime for the Transformers.
That, that sounds familiar, that song.
Yeah, that was On Top of the World.
By the Carpenters?
Yeah. You probably get a copyright strike for that 2 seconds of it.
I don't care.
Good song.
That's why I don't get monetized, because I want to be able to be me. Fuck all that other stuff. You can't do this and you can't do that.
Let's see.
Ducks.
Let's see what we've got. Canada's digital ID is a system providing your identity online using secure digital versions of physical IDs, like driver's license, enabling easier access to government services, banking, and other transactions. With provinces like Alberta, My Alberta Digital ID is leading implementation, aiming for convenience and security while remaining optional. Not mandatory, with the federal government developing platforms for digital credentials and provinces creating their own solutions. It's mostly for online stuff. It's not a single ID, but a card system for sharing verified info. So does it use existing? It doesn't replace physical ID. Traditional methods remain available. Streamlines identity verification for government, finance, and business. It's encrypted, enhanced data security and privacy controls over shared info. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Hold on. What the fuck?
Without any device, bought a cable cache. When he got home, the phone says to review the item. Yeah. That information is available, well, from several different ways. But what would be the easiest way to do it? It would have been facial recognition tracking, putting that information to your digital twin, and then informing Google of your purchase, I guess. And you get some, yeah. Or they could do brain scans. A lot of people are starting to notice that they're not looking stuff up online, but they're thinking about stuff, and it's showing up on their phones.
Yeah, I've had that happen, but
Yeah.
I was in the. I was like, no way.
Yeah, it's happening more and more. I've seen it a few times now. Oh yeah, called a digital twin. Eyes wide shut. How you doing? Yeah, everybody's got a digital twin. That's got your MAC address on it, media access and control, so that they can use 802.15 megahertz to get into your body and make changes or talk to it or send messages through it. Yeah. Don't know if he plugged it in. And that's the technology that I know about. What they have, I don't know. They could have way better. I do know that they're scanning your brain from satellites, which seems like really weird, but that's what they're doing. Yeah, you can get those. You can buy them, apparently. It'll connect to a keyboard and you can break into the computer with it.
God's name is going on here.
Right, Jay? Yeah. Banking machines, anything pretty much. Installed the fire extinguisher. Now you can fake and wake and bake. Nice. Was Candy here? I didn't see her. Hi, Candy. Yeah, I want to get one of those I want to get a couple of full-sized fire extinguishers. We have the little canisters. They're teeny. I want the big ass ones. Yeah, they've been trying to ban smoking in a lot of places, a lot of rental places. I think they can to some degree. But I don't think that's right. They asked me when I moved in here if I smoked, and I said, hell yeah. So I had to pay $50 for the extra paint they have to use on the apartment.
That's wild.
Just once. I only had to pay it once, so.
I gotta jump off here in 5 minutes.
All right.
They also,
Yeah.
oh,
To an electric lock? Oh no.
yeah, that's those. They're talking about putting them type of locks on apartments here, them electric scan key locks.
Yeah. And they can lock
That,
in or out, you know.
yep, yep. I'm noticing that all the poor people's buildings are starting to have those, and cameras everywhere. Like privacy is out the door.
Oh yeah. Think about that. You could lock them in their houses and burn the place down. You know?
I'll kick the window out.
That's what'll happen, right? Because as soon as the system goes down, those doors will just stay locked.
I didn't even think of that. Holy shit, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That ain't good.
So once any wires get burnt, you're fucked.
Wow. I didn't even think of that. That's a good fucking point. I'm bringing that up to the landlord. Like, what's wrong with you? You think?
Yeah. What happens when the power goes out? You know.
That's a very good point. Wow.
Unless it's got like a backup battery in it or something.
What if the power goes out, Candy? What do you do?
Keys no longer valid.
Even mailboxes have them things too. Like this world, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see anything good coming out of a digital world. Like it's moving super fast.
Well, the thing is, you're not seeing the good of it, but there is good in it. But they're not pushing that forward, and they're not being honest about it. So it could be used really.
Wow.
It could be used really well. Like,
Oh yeah, I know, but they're not.
no.
That's not their intention.
Yeah, healthy, happy people don't feed a medical industry that we don't need. You know.
And put up data centers that are detrimental to the earth and us. We're organic beings. We're like mushrooms.
Yeah, not good to put us in a big electrical field. You had to program it and put in the code. Did you have to share the code with your landlord? Or can you change it? It might be okay. It might be like just if it doesn't have Wi-Fi in it or anything, you know, if it's just a simple digital lock with a battery, that's
With what?
Without Wi-Fi. There are locks that just are digital locks, but they don't have Wi-Fi. They're not connected.
Where's this lock?
Huh?
Where's this lock located?
Well, they put them on doors.
Oh.
Doors. We're talking about apartment doors, right?
Oh, Candy has one?
Yeah, she's got one on hers. It's just a digital lock box with a battery. Okay. Yeah, that's not too bad. On the new smart homes, they have smart locks and stuff that are controlled by wireless. In a case of people being locked out of their houses in Canada. Yeah, it'll progress, right? Just get used to this. This will be fine. Don't worry. Man, they're chemtrailing like crazy today.
Yeah, it's cloudy here.
Just a gray haze.
It's cloudy and very cold. Not good.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to look that up on Geoengineering Watch because I think they're using ice nucleating particles, which make it really freaking cold. They spray them and it goes like sub-zero. Like last night, it was minus 13, or this morning. And it can't even snow at that temperature. So, or minus 15. So they're pushing the envelope right close to the point where it can't even snow. And still dumping snow. So. See you, Jay. You were bitching
We're
and grumbling.
definitely using something new.
I should check that out. I got some. I think I have an email from them.
Have a good day, Jay Heim. What's up, Craig?
Hi, Craig.
Because it's not ice cream. It's some bullshit. I remember I used to get these back in the day when I first started going to this I don't know what to call it. It was like a Save-A-Lot type store, Price Right. And they sell like cheaper non-name brand products. So one day I got these fucking ice cream sandwiches, which is around the same time I got something called cheese product. I didn't know it wasn't real cheese. This is when I wasn't paying attention to the label. I said, oh wow, cheese for $1? Let me get a package of this.
Oh.
So I went home and I put the slice of cheese product on my fucking eggs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, the eggs are damn near burning. The cheese still wasn't melted, nothing. Didn't alter. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And my girl at the time fucking started yelling at me, this isn't cheese. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she was showing me it says cheese product and this and that. And it tasted like fucking cardboard. I shit you not. And yeah, I threw that shit out. Same thing with the ice cream sandwiches. They didn't melt. I left them on a balcony. It was hot too. And when I came back home, they weren't even melted. I'm like, damn, what are we eating? It's insane, man, the stuff they're giving us. That can't be good in the stomach.
No. Oh, here's a good one I checked on Geoengineering Watch. Radiation fog over the East Coast.
What?
Yeah.
Radiation fog. That's a new one.
Yeah.
That don't sound good either.
Millions facing sub-freezing temperatures as Arctic blasts grip U.S. Temperatures hit record low across the U.S. Record cold remains for millions. These are exactly the kind of headlines the controllers and climate engineers want. Welcome to engineered winter weather. The chemical ice nucleation cloud seeding at the core. Freak freezing fog. Forever fog is another consequence of the same geoengineering operations. Mysterious 400-mile stretch of radiation fog blankets 13 million Americans. That's by the Daily Mail. What our controllers, like the rest of the world, the latest installment, Global Alert News. Yeah, you got news.
You could play it if you want. Oh.
Yeah, I got it up. I can't hear it, no.
To control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world.
The controllers are tripling down on weather warfare operations, especially in the U.S. The never-ending chemical fog is back. From the UK Daily Mail, this new headline: mysterious 400-mile stretch of, quote, radiation fog blankets 13 million Americans. From that report, more than 20 counties across the 400-mile stretch of the state have been hit. Toxic particles from factories and car exhausts, I'll get to what they're leaving out in a moment, can hover over populated cities for hours, forcing anyone in the fog
That's
to
not-
Probably putting it into gasoline.
that can lead to various respiratory problems. You think?
Wow.
Being left out of this report, the highly toxic ubiquitous climate engineering fallout, with extreme geoengineering jet spraying operations raging in the skies above the endless fog in California. I'm an eyewitness of this.
They put out fog from Area 51 just before the California fire, the California fires there.
In Northern California. How many remember the extreme fog warnings last year? 24 states at once. 24 at once. And now it's California in the crosshairs. If you think there's any untainted natural weather anywhere at this point, think again. From the Washington Post, why a 400-mile long bank of fog lingered over California for a week? Yes, exactly. Why? Relentless climate engineering operations are stratifying the atmosphere in many regions. It isn't moving or mixing. Wind and weather patterns are increasingly being disrupted. It's all or nothing on the wind scenario. Bottom line, the entire system is being disrupted, and the consequences of climate engineering are already far beyond catastrophic. If the accelerating weather warfare is allowed to continue unabated, there will very soon be nothing left to salvage of our formerly thriving planet. More on atmospheric stratification, pressure zones, and the resulting pollution-laced surface fog. From sfgate.com, thick fog to blanket California's I-5 corridor, quote, indefinitely. Really? Indefinitely? And how exactly would the climate engineering denying so-called weather experts know that? Are they reading scheduled weather scripts passed down by climate engineering involved private defense entities like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin? Both corporations neck deep in climate engineering everything? Short answer, yes. Script reading so-called experts. And about the chemical fog, there's more from sfgate.com. California's 400-mile blanket of, quote, radiation fog spills into Bay Area. Radiation fog. That doesn't sound good, does it? The report continues. A 400-mile stretch of dense fog has blanketed California's Central Valley. It stretched into the Bay Area, according to the National Weather Service, where the Weather Service's Hanford office warned of, quote, high transportation risk, obviously. The stagnant fog layer has also contributed to deteriorating air quality, with the Bay Area Air District issuing a spare the air alert. Yes, toxic fog. And that's with official agencies not even admitting to the most harmful particle pollution of all, nanoparticles.
Oh, wow.
The climate engineering fallout kind. Aluminum, barium, strontium, manganese, surfactants, polymer fibers, graphene, the list goes on and on. More from the report. The fog's effects extend beyond transportation. Growers of crops such as almonds, peaches, cherries, and pistachios rely on the winter fog to help orchards meet chill hour requirements, a period essential for bud and fruit development in the spring. Let's stop there. So, are we to feel okay about the chemical fog so long as it provides some of the chill requirements for what is yet left of California's rapidly dying farm and agriculture industry, soils toxic from the toxic rain, killing soil microbiome, killing root systems, but yet we're supposed to think there's some kind of benefit in this insanity? Moving on. About that, quote, radiation fog. For those that don't know, the climate science community has long since acknowledged that climate engineering operations would in fact destroy the Earth's solar radiation shield, the ozone layer. No ozone layer, no more terrestrial life on Earth, along with most aquatic life. Search the ozone destruction section on the homepage of geoengineeringwatch.org to learn of the extreme UV radiation bombarding the planet, including UVC radiation. It's not being reported. What a surprise. How many have long since noticed how scorchingly hot, unobstructed sun exposure now is? With all that in mind, from BBC, why has Airbus grounded half of its global A320 fleet? Question mark. JetBlue solar radiation glitch. Another headline, same theme, from Aerospace Global News. Breaking. Airbus grounds over 6,000 A320 aircraft amid solar radiation risk. From the UK Telegraph, flights grounded over safety fears from solar radiation. From that report, Airbus has decided to ground more than 6,000 A320 jets to implement An urgent software update nearly a month after JetBlue flight suddenly lost altitude mid-flight. Analysis of a recent event involving an A320 aircraft has revealed that intense solar radiation may corrupt data critical to the functioning of flight controls. That definitely doesn't sound good, does it?
No.
Yes. Now intense solar radiation. For anybody that has a sense of feel, you can certainly feel this at ground level. From travelweekly.com, update Air New Zealand grounds A320s, fleet over Airbus, fear of solar radiation. Let's stop there. Official sources and the matrix media that serves them continue to try and convince us that the ozone layer is all better now. Nothing to see here, they say. Move along. Just like 9/11, just like so-called safe and effective medical concoctions, just like there's nothing to see in the Epstein file or the clearly staged assassination attempts or the definite assassination successes for those who began to speak out with the wrong narrative, one that the power structure didn't want. Now that's being swept under the rug as well. How many people just put all this in the rearview mirror and move on and pretend that those in power are any different than they've always been? It's a criminal cabal masquerading as our government. The political stripes mean nothing, zero. They never have. Meant to divide and conquer, and they keep the theater increasingly compelling so people can't see the oncoming train of total collapse. Everything, everywhere, all at once. They tell us everything is fine, except it isn't. It's anything but fine. Footnote, 7 Hong Kong high-rise buildings just burnt for over 2 days.
What?
Did they all collapse at free fall speed like the buildings on 9/11? Did any of the Hong Kong high-rises collapse? Of course not. Steel structure high-rise buildings can't collapse from a carbon fire, not even close, unless, of course, thermite has been planted to trigger the collapse. Time to wake up. How many people put everything they can in the rearview mirror because they don't want to face reality? It's simply too frightening for the vast majority. But ignoring it is not going to make it go away. Moving on. Britain also in the freezing chemical fog crosshairs from AOL. Britain hit by freezing fog warning before 9-hour rain deluge forecast. That's in parts of Britain that are getting rain, other parts are not getting rain. Next, still more on the climate engineering chemical ice nucleation factor. Those who truly control the power and militaries from behind the curtain are tripling down on climate engineering operations. The true controllers of the U.S. empire have stopped pretending to participate in global climate conferences like the COP conference that just took place in Brazil. Conferences that themselves pretend.
So that fog might not also be bad for you because it's radioactive. They use it for computing and fog computing. You can look that up online and see what that's all about. Just type in fog computing to any search engine, and hopefully it'll come up for you.
To be trying to put the brakes on the carbon fuel carnival while half the attendees are actually oil industry lobbyists showing up in private jets. And something like 100,000 rainforest trees were cut down to provide better access for the conference itself. Yeah, because that sends such a powerful message of protect the forests, doesn't it? Official debunking sources will try to deny the forest devastation at the conference, but it happened. Anyway, I digress. The U.S. is tripling down on climate engineering chemical cooldowns as the planet spirals into total meltdown, with every single chemical cooldown event further fueling the overall planetary meltdown. Not a surprising paradox. Chemical cooldowns come with catastrophic ecological consequences. Don't eat the snow, and I don't say that in jest.
Yeah.
Next, to follow up from AccuWeather, record snow hits Midwest, snarling post-Thanksgiving travel, as well as pre-Thanksgiving travel. The report then states 2 cities had their biggest November snowfalls in history. This is exactly what the climate engineers want to create.
In history.
While more than 10,000 flights were delayed for those going home on the holiday weekend, heavy snow hit the Midwest and Great Lakes over the extended Thanksgiving weekend, complicating the already busy time for the holiday travel.
Hey, that's me.
Chicago set a record for the most snow on any November day with 8.4 inches. Doesn't sound that much, does it? But it creates a sensationalized headline. That's what the controllers want. That's the headlines they're striving for. Record chemical snow. Cold, cold, cold. They're all repeating the same talking points, Weather Channel, Weather Central, Weather Nation, all of them. Clearly given talking points. And the populations in the chemical cold zones all too often remain oblivious to the rapidly worsening record heat for the rest of the world. That's the plan. Keep them oblivious as to what's taking place elsewhere. Search the engineering winter section on the
Yeah, it'll
homepage of
always be the hottest or the
geoengineeringwatch.org
coldest
to
where
learn
you
much
are.
more on this subject. Question: for the last decade and a half plus, why is geoengineeringwatch.org the only source that is desperately trying to expose the engineering winter chemical cooldowns, a core component of climate engineering? Answer: because too many online sources seem compelled to pretend the chemical cooldowns are a sign of global cooling or freakishly false narratives of a coming ice age, while the planet is actually superheating and ice deposits all over the globe are imploding. Something to remember. Please look up, take notice. Skies are now frequently white, not blue, not any form of historically natural cloud cover, but often white, or grid patterned, or random stripes, melting into a filthy canopy of jet-sprayed toxic solar radiation nanoparticles stretching from horizon to horizon, skies that literally look like something from a science fiction movie. And we're told it's normal. Nothing to see here. Move along. Just a conspiracy theory. That narrative is breaking down. People are waking up, finally. Not a moment too soon. This is Dane Wigington. You're listening to the weekly installment of the commercial-free, non-political Global Alert News Report, the end of the world as we know it broadcast, brought to you by Geoengineering Watch.
I'll give out a link to his
The
channel.
largest and most visited website in the world, the subject of global climate engineering operations, aka weather warfare. Quick footnote for those that truly want to help sound the alarm. Very effective climate engineering awareness raising materials are available on the homepage of geoengineeringwatch.org. Full color printed materials, which we pass on for less than our cost of producing and shipping. Geoengineering Watch shirts, now with restocked colors and sizes. Conversation starters, key to the door. Every day counts in this battle. Moving on, more on the tripling down of climate engineering and chemical ice nucleation operations, again, especially in the U.S. New from AccuWeather, polar push to decide snowy fate of late week storm in eastern U.S. From the report, how colder air interacts with the developing storm will determine if and where a band of snow or a mix of rain and snow forms from the Appalachians to New England with rain further south. They really don't know because they can't know exactly how the climate engineering operations will be carried out and the chemical ice nucleation, how effective that might be. So we have these ambiguous reports of could be rain, could be snow, could be sleet, could be grapple, could be little styrofoam balls, could be freezing rain. We don't know. That's what they say. New from CNN. Think it's cold now? Question mark. Just wait for this week's Arctic blast that's poised to break records. The report says it's cold now, but the next punch of Arctic air will take it to another level. The bitter cold from Canada drops into the northern plains and upper Midwest. This is all total scripted, made-up meteorology with climate engineering at the core of all of it, with the cast of climate engineering cover-up clowns trying to erase the tracks of the climate engineers at Weather Channel, Weather Nation, Weather Central, all power structure controlled entities in the end. Their purpose, again, cover the tracks of the climate engineers. Next report from AccuWeather. Polar vortex to bring triple whammy of Arctic cold to U.S. through mid-December. Reports as
Cloud
a shifting
is
polar vortex
a
will
different
allow
level
multiple
of
rounds of Arctic air to invade the central and eastern United
computing,
States
cloud
through the first
computing.
half of December. Guess what you see when you look at a global departure from normal surface temperature map right now?
You know, when
you see most of the world red, far above normal temperatures. Where do you see that bright blue below normal?
Kamala said the cloud is above us, it kind of is in a way, part of it. But it is in devices and storage and all that. But yeah, part of it is above you.
The most populated portions of the U.S., that's not nature. That's the biggest military in the world by far, with 3 times more aerial tankers used in climate engineering than the rest of the world's militaries combined, keeping their population oblivious to what's happening around the world. Chemical cool downs. That's exactly what's happening. Again, search the engineering winter section at geoengineeringwatch.org. From the Watchers News, this headline: 3 atmospheric rivers forecast to make landfall over Pacific Northwest. These are the waves of moisture I mentioned a moment ago. producing prolonged precipitation and high moisture transport across western Washington and Oregon, chemically nucleating it the whole way, producing a cold dense layer of air that descends to the surface and creates the headlines they want. Also from the Watchers News, polar vortex forecast to bring waves of Arctic air to the Dakotas, Minnesota, and the eastern U.S. this month. High pressure dome keeping any precipitation out of California. That rotates upper level wind currents clockwise around that dome. The moisture is being nucleated as it's being pumped into the U.S., comes back down further east and creates the kinds of headlines I just covered. Let's stop there. Here's the scenario. The weather terrorists are manipulating zonal flows of moisture into the U.S. Northwest and bombarding it with patented chemical ice nucleation elements to radically cool down surface temperatures as the moisture migrates to the east. And from the south, yes, more record warm Gulf of Mexico fueled so-called snowstorms. The Gulf of Mexico moisture flows are manipulated toward the north and the northeast. Eventually, the warmer precipitation flows, quote, change over to snow, end quote, as the matrix meteorologists state. Elevation now has little or nothing to do with chemical snow levels, and they, the so-called experts, tell us it's perfectly normal to have a warm side to a so-called winter storm, except historically speaking, such a conclusion is absolutely ludicrous. Let's remember the January 21st snowstorm, blizzard.
You got to go there,
New Orleans,
Charles?
and Florida. This year, blizzard, while it was above freezing and raining, same day. Alaska, Greenland, Iceland, Siberia. Nobody said a word about that. Chemical nucleation, robbing some of the cold air from the Arctic, pushing it south, chemically nucleating it, and creating the sensationalized headlines the controllers and the climate engineers so covet. About the rest of the world, from extremetemps.com, while harsh cold spells are battering the USA, chemically nucleated kind, and Canada, the abnormal heat persists in Mexico, Central America, the Caribbean, and almost all countries with record heat. How about that? How many Americans know that?
I want record heat.
While the Matrix media trumpets the repeat dustings of unnatural chemical so-called snow, record low ice extent right now in the Arctic, record low ice mass right now in the Arctic, record high surface temperatures right now in the Arctic. How about that? And for the incredibly moronic sources that push the polar bears are fine more than ever, everything's great, I don't know what planet they're living on, what reality they're living in. It isn't this one, period. And how many have caught how the cast of climate engineering cover-up clowns on Matrix Media, so-called weather forecasting agencies, have terms like sun and areas of high clouds, or mostly sunny, or sun and haze, all of which describes a sky plastered with geoengineering, solar radiation management, toxic aerosol, jet spray dispersions. There is so little courage in academia. I know many in the ranks of academia, and I have been so absolutely appalled at their lack of moral fortitude. It needs to change. If these people don't want to go to their graves knowing that they were cowards till the brutal, bitter end, band together, stand up, and tell the truth while it can still make a difference. This headline, private companies have raised millions to block the sun. What could go wrong? Question mark. That's from the Washington Post. Most governments have no specific geoengineering regulations. Also from the Post. When they talk about private companies, that's mass distraction. And they bring up all the meaningless, complete red herring, smoke and mirrors, make sunsets, Stardust Corporation. These are absolutely meaningless, while the fleets
up and down
of geoengineering jet aircraft sponsored by governments all over the world are raging in our skies. Wake up. People need to wake up and not fall for the look here, don't look there bait. And that's exactly what all this Matrix Media tries to do. But
and the huge upswings and downswings in from day to night too. It's ridiculous.
By bringing up
all
these meaningless
geoengineered
little localized cloud seeding operations, a single engine propeller driven airplane with a few flares on the wings, while the KC-135 flies over dumping 100 tons of toxic geoengineering elements. Separate the two. They're not the same. An ant compared to an elephant. Localized cloud seeding operations are not climate engineering, period. From earth.org, why solar geoengineering is now a moral imperative. Really? Really? From the climate science coward community. There's a few exceptions, but not many. There needs to be more. The report says, as we confront the aftermath of a disastrous COP30, we are not only facing a warming planet, but also find ourselves approaching a crisis of hope, with new projections showing that our planet will warm to 2.5 C over pre-industrial levels.
Good.
Really? We're past 3.5 C now. The climate science community always downplays, not over-exaggerates, but downplays the severity of what's unfolding. That is what they're paid to do. And guess what these power structure programmed so-called experts are calling for in this article from earth.org. Here it is. Hundreds of climate scientists from around the world, including one of America's most influential climate scientists, James Hansen, another coward that will not admit to climate engineering, believe that solar geoengineering may be the only tool that could allow us to avoid planetary tipping points. First, we have blown past all the tipping points already. Thelma and Louise moment. We're through the guardrail. We're sailing through the air to the bottom of the canyon, and these cowards won't admit to it. Second, we've been geoengineering, which is being used for a covert weapon of war. There's nothing benevolent in these operations at all. Power structure, crown jewel weapon. Bring populations to their knees without those populations ever even knowing they were under assault. A toxic assault with long-term irreparable impacts. Been going on for 80 plus years. How's that working out so far? Well, the so-called experts.
Yeah, we had snow too. Record snow in my area.
Planetary asylum, orbiting asylum.
Yeah, and then it was gone.
cnews.co.uk, marine geoengineering.
We didn't get fog.
Irreversible harm. Really? As if that's not been going on just as long? The report says basically marine geoengineering is an attempt to manipulate Earth's oceans to counteract the effects of climate change, like drawing down carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and storing it in the ocean. This is ocean fertilization. That's exactly what they're talking about here. I brought it up on many broadcasts over many years. The solar radiation management elements, base material may be coal fly ash. Many of those elements are exactly what's called for in ocean fertilization. To seed the oceans with elements like iron, to create algae blooms, to artificially pull CO2 out of the atmosphere, which acidifies the ocean.
1 second, I just want to show you guys something here. This is just a image showing fog computing. This is all the devices, people, stoplights, and all that. Then there's fog computing here. And of course, up above it, there's cloud computing. The cloud does exist. And this is an actual physical representation of what is really going on. And it's hard to comprehend that computing is going on in storage above your head, but it is.
Oceans kills the oceans, but hey, who cares? In the eyes of the climate engineers and the controllers, if it hides some of the problem for a little while, even if it ensures that none of us get through this alive, they don't care. Just like detonating 2,400 nuclear weapons all over the world. Just like
it would be sunny and clear here if there weren't any chemtrails.
We'll go into meltdown when collapse hits. No other potential outcome short of intervention from some outside, as of yet unknown source. Let's hope there's something out there. Oh, and lest I forget to mention, how many nuke plants are we talking about? 442 online right now.
Wow.
60 more being built. Let's do Fukushima times several hundred. Game over. Very simple. Climate engineering is pounding the nails into our collective coffin from every conceivable direction. Moving on, here's a real jewel of a headline from the Wall Street Journal. The chemtrails conspiracy theory dogging the battle against drought. Report says a theory holds that the government is secretly releasing chemicals to block the sun and fight climate change, a distortion of a concept known as geoengineering. No, it's not a distortion. It's exactly what's described as geoengineering. It's exactly what's happening in our skies. The elements falling down in our rain are exactly what's called out in climate engineering patents. The consequences we already see are exactly what we are told will happen if they climate engineer, which they have been for 80 years.
Start dropping, yeah.
The Wall Street Journal report then states this: the Environmental Protection Agency in July took the unusual step of debunking the myths and misperceptions, they say, around the conspiracy of chemtrails and government weather manipulation. They then state this, again from the Wall Street Journal. Dane Wigington, one of the nation's most active promoters of weather manipulation theories, said in an interview he has been tracking the secret geoengineering programs for 20 years. They continue. He testified in October for Wyoming lawmakers discussing a bill being reviewed by the lawmakers. Weather is being used for a weapon. That's a quote They attributed to me. Wigington said, citing Jamaica being annihilated right now. I did say that. It was annihilated, wasn't it? By a hurricane. Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica as a Category 5 storm on October 28th. So they try to weave that together in a way to make it appear I made a definitive statement about Hurricane Melissa being engineered, when in fact what I've stated is, why would we think otherwise? We know they have the patented technologies to make or break these storms anytime they want. If a Cat 5, what amounted to a Cat 6, hit Jamaica, that's because at minimum they allowed it to happen. And what was on Jamaica, and I'll get to that in a moment, rare earth minerals recently disclosed. The minerals that are coveted, craved by the U.S. empire.
Isn't that amazing how rare earth minerals suddenly appear after they geoengineer a storm to flood a place, wreck it?
And it's military. Let's keep going. From the Wall Street Journal, Holly Jean Buck, she's back. A University of Buffalo professor who studies weather conspiracies said that they are fueled by environmental anxiety, social media, and distrust in government, among other factors. Wow. Who could possibly not trust our government, right? What a joke. Yes, there she is again, Holly Jean Buck, University of Buffalo, playing her part in the cover-up of global climate engineering operations. As I've stated before, I was interviewed by Holly Jean Buck about 8 or 10 years ago. I provided more than enough verifiable proof of ongoing climate engineering operations, yet, not surprisingly, Holly Jean Buck's official denial continues to this day. Ms. Buck, question, is protecting your paycheck and pension more important than exposing and halting climate engineering destruction of the planet's remaining life support systems? Holly Jean Buck, University of Buffalo. Please view the dimming documentary from the homepage of geoengineeringwatch.org. Please tell the truth while it can still make a difference. About the Pentagon coveted rare earth minerals that just happen to be located in hurricane-ravaged regions like Jamaica, and the other Pentagon critical elements like lithium, which also happen to be in Hurricane Helene decimated North Carolina. The list goes on and on and on. These are just two examples. With all that in mind, consider the following
24/7, they're right bastards.
Global race to secure critical minerals for weapons threatens climate, report warns.
They kill you, destroy the planet just for some minerals.
Read between the lines there. Because in fact, is climate catastrophe being used in the pursuit of these minerals to clear the land or to bring countries to their knees and allow whatever empires that wield these weapons want. The biggest empire, of course, being the U.S. by far. The report says study reveals U.S. earmarked billions to stockpile critical minerals for military use, including precision-guided weaponry and AI-driven warfare, because that's what you need to focus on when your planet is circling the drain and you're hurtling toward planetary omnicide. You want to build more weapons of mass destruction, right? Orbiting asylum. Too many in the ranks of the human race are not sane, certainly not moral, certainly not honorable. It's a race to the bottom. The report then states the accelerating global arms race is hindering climate action. It's further worsening climate catastrophe because weather is constantly, every single day, being used as a weapon of war, covert weapon of war, and a weapon to confuse and divide populations as to the true state of climate damage already done, while paradoxically creating even more damage in the very process, the engineered winter scenarios I've just described. Again, the report states that climate action is being hindered because critical minerals that are key to a, quote, sustainable future, that's not true either, are being diverted to make the latest military hardware. Total insanity. If there's any intelligent life in the universe and they're watching us, why would they think we're saving here on planet Earth, soon to be sister planet to Venus? Report then says, since the U.S. President, Donald Trump, passed his One Big Beautiful Bill earlier this year, the Pentagon, through its National Defense Stockpile Program, has earmarked billions of dollars to secure a growing list of critical minerals for use in military hardware. The Pentagon's Defense Logistics Agency plans to stockpile almost 7,500 metric tons of cobalt. How much good will that do them on a dead planet, which is coming far sooner than almost any care to even contemplate at this point?
Well, who says it's for them, right? They're stupid enough. They'll probably,
in supporting at least
destroy their planet for money and not be able to live on it.
After it got hit by Hurricane Helene in the U.S. and Canada, worth almost $1 billion since 2023, including taking direct equity stakes in critical mineral companies. Little conflict of interest there, isn't there? An unprecedented step in modern U.S. industrial policy. That's business as usual now. When you have a criminal cabal masquerading as a legitimate government running the country, and it's not about a political stripe. Again, all the administrations, all criminal, all crooked. It's simply way worse now than it has ever been before, by far. Way worse. And why would we expect
Hi, Hurricane.
when those in power know the dominoes
Charles is awake.
Hurricane.
Oh, there he
maintain
is.
this paradigm much longer? So they're now unbelievably blatant.
I
in
almost forgot
everything
I
they
was on
do.
the live. I went to
And
the
if we don't
bathroom.
stand against them, all of us,
But I've been
now, we
listening
won't
to
have
this. I
tomorrow.
kind of
That's
forgot
a
I was
given.
on the live.
The report
Yeah,
states
this
by
is wild.
capturing
This
these
guy's like
materials
one of
to
the,
fuel
he's
the war
the
machine,
pretty
the
much
Pentagon
the
not
leading
only
expert
drains resources
in what they're doing to us. You know, he's done all the testing and all kinds of shit like that. So he's got his ducks in a row on this.
What is
And
this? A radio show?
well, it's geoengineeringwatch.org. He's got a channel on YouTube called Dane Wigington. But I'll send a link. I'll put a link to his website too. Yeah, he keeps you informed pretty much on what's happening, and as you can tell, what's going to happen. So yeah, he's pretty awesome. Oops. This is it. Yeah. Oh, let me press play.
Sources needed for urgent climate solutions, but also perpetuates a destructive cycle of militarism that undermines global peace and sustainability while simultaneously crowding out the civilian functions of the federal government. They finish with this. This misplaced prioritization threatens the planet's future. Stop. For those that don't yet understand, if we remain in the current course, we have no future. Not even a near-term future. None. And for those in the green community, again, it is profoundly baffling that they will not admit to climate engineering while they pretend that there is, quote, renewable energy, 900-foot tall wind turbines, which are all but worthless.
Terrible.
Solar panels, which can do good if the planet wasn't being covered with sun-blocking toxic climate engineering elements, same elements that are drying up rain in many regions where there's hydropower. Where is the green community on all this? Criminal hypocrisy, absolutely criminal hypocrisy.
Yeah, so what they do is they make it cold in North America. It's going to be hot everywhere else because of that.
Watch.org attorneys in the past have spoken to attorneys from all the major environmental groups, none of them with the backbone to admit to climate engineering operations because they don't want to risk their 501c3 nonprofit. Criminal hypocrisy, every single one of them. They don't deserve a dime, not a dime from anyone, unless or until they fully face climate engineering. What about the bottom of the world? Antarctica. This. Satellites spot rapid doomsday glacier collapse. Been covering this for a very long time. It's getting worse very rapidly. People do not understand the ramifications of what's unfolding. And the moment that what's unfolding can't be hidden from the masses, the moment the masses realize the party is over, the party really is over. They will panic. And at that point, the power structure will play very big cards, or leading up to that point. Pathogen release, false flags, global conflicts, all cards they hold, all cards I've mentioned for many, many years at geoengineeringwatch.org. When biosphere collapse beats the controllers to the intersection, they will play very big cards, and we are at that moment now. From this report, 2 decades of satellite and GPS data show that the Thwaites eastern ice shelf is losing its grip on a crucial stabilizing point as fractures multiply and ice speeds up. Scientists warn this pattern might spread to other vulnerable Antarctic shelves. There's no could, there's no may, there's no might. It's happening. We have reports every single week. Oh my God, it's way worse than we thought from the so-called climate scientists. I knew. How could they not know? How could they not know? On the same theme, from Yahoo News, NASA issues warning after sudden change in ocean surprises scientists getting faster and faster. That's the headline from the report. An abrupt rise in global sea level last year has raised concerns. The increase was far more than what scientists had been expecting. A higher than usual amount of ocean warming along with meltwater from land-based ice caused a jump in sea level that surprised scientists. They were so surprised, they just didn't know. I knew at geoengineeringwatch.org, I've stated it over and over so many years. It's far worse than we're being told. They're not telling us the truth, and they won't tell us the truth until they can't hide it anymore, and that time is now. From the National Emergency Briefing.org, today, hundreds of MPs, peers, and leaders from businesses, faith, and sports, and culture gathered in Westminster for a national emergency briefing. From that report, we were presented with the latest evidence showing that the United Kingdom, it's the whole world, must...
Right. I know people that live on the ocean, and they say that their marker stones are the same as they have been since they were children. So
urgently prepare for a cascade of serious societal impacts. The rapidly escalating climate and nature crises are set to make the UK increasingly unrecognizable and dangerous with extreme weather events. The risk of food shortages, it's not a risk, okay? It's a given. Short of some outside intervention from some source that we don't yet know of, it's a given. It's a statistical, mathematical certainty. Food shelves are going to empty out far sooner than most can imagine. They say price shocks, economic instability, and rising geopolitical risks. It's called total collapse. It's called Mad Max times 8.3 billion with a B.
Yeah, they love their order out of chaos, right? So
yeah. Well, I know I'm bringing the chaos to their fucking house.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, eh? When they do it this time, there's too many people that know it's them doing it.
They're going to pay scale of the carbon fuel funded disinformation that has flooded Westminster and the media. And that includes covering up climate engineering. That's all part of the same cancerous criminal cabal to cover up climate engineering and continue promoting drill baby drill. The report says the lack of public access to accurate science-based information has created a vacuum which has been filled by polarized headlines designed to deny and delay action. Again, what aren't these people who pretend to be telling the full truth now not telling the truth about? Climate engineering, obviously, but it's coming. We therefore ask the government and all public service broadcasters to hold an urgent televised national emergency briefing. This is a new report. Listen carefully to this because we're getting closer to the admission by those in higher levels of government and the so far cowardly ranks of academia admitting that collapse is here. Briefing the public and to run a comprehensive public engagement campaign so that everyone understands the profound risks this crisis poses to themselves and their families. They then say this: we are not safe. This is an emergency. Now is the time for courage and to put trust in the public. Let's stop there. These are their words, not mine. But here's my response. So far, those that are awake and aware find ourselves between the hammer and the anvil, between a criminally insane and completely out of control power structure and the masses.
He's testified in front of your government to geoengineering, but only on a low level, I guess, and it didn't really make much difference. So,
majority of which are so far choosing to dive as deep.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying really hard.
Into denial as they possibly can until the brutal bitter end, and none of this bodes well for the fate of the human race or life on Earth as a whole. From theconversation.com, how the rich world is fortifying itself against climate migration. From that report, in the face of this challenge, those countries which are most responsible for climate change, aka climate collapse and climate engineering, have two options. Either they can share resources more equitably, that's not going to happen, and fund adaptation plans on a massive scale, can adapt to a dead planet. Or, the report says, they can prevent others from accessing resources and livable land through physical and regulatory walls. That's exactly what we would expect to happen and exactly what is going to happen. And those that have want desperately to cling to that. They don't want to let go of anything. They don't want to reduce or scale back on anything. They would rather party until the brutal bitter end. That's exactly the trajectory we're on. As the proverb goes,
they're fucking nihilists. They don't care.
That's exactly what's happening now on a global scale. So with that in mind, that's.
They think if they amass enough stuff, they'll be fine.
Decided that desertion is more profitable than transformation. Yes, they're digging in with bunkers. From UK Independent, government not in favor of controversial efforts to dim the sun. What a smokescreen this is. The report states the controversial topic was highlighted in a parliament debate. It's something that's been the subject of science fiction and conspiracy theories.
Well,
for
he knows
years.
his climate,
Let's stop
I've
there for a minute. I mean, how moronic can it all get? We should all, everyone who has a moment of time to help fight in this battle, should be seeking out the authors of articles like this, elected officials, agency officials, environmental groups. The list is endless. Send them a peaceful and professional message and ask them why they're not telling the truth about a factor that holds their personal future in the balance along with the rest of us. Send them a link to the dimming. Ask them to try to explain away the proof presented in that film. See how far they get. Yes, the long since completely worn out conspiracy term. Ignore your lying eyes and the climate engineering atrocities that are raging in skies all over the world every single day. For the record, the ever more transparent, pitiful, and desperate official denial is finally beginning to implode. Moving on, still more Matrix Media pushback from my recent exchange with Tucker Carlson from YaleClimateConnections.org. Why the chemtrail conspiracy theory lingers and grows, and why Tucker Carlson is talking about it. Contrails have a simple explanation, the report says, but not everyone wants to believe it. Because you have to be blind, deaf, and dumb to believe the official narratives at this point. This is written by Callum Lister Matheson. Does he need a link to the dimming? You decide. He says some people, perhaps a surprising number, look to the sky and see government plots and wicked deeds written there. Conspiracy theorists say that contrails, long streaks of condensation left by aircraft, are actually chemtrails. Yeah, Callum, because we have up-close film footage of these aircraft at altitude with nozzles visible turning on and off. The people will wake up to people like you, Callum, at some point. Will they be justifiably enraged?
Yeah, this guy's got the evidence. He's no bullshitter.
I don't know.
He's got the
We'll find out
receipts.
at some point, and I suppose we will. The thoroughly debunked, Callum says, chemtrail theory provides a textbook example of how conspiracy theories work. Tucker Carlson, whose podcast averages over 1 million viewers per episode, recently interviewed Dane Wigington, a longtime opponent of what he calls geoengineering. What I call geoengineering, Callum, that's a textbook definition of geoengineering, and we've taken very expensive aircraft, flying labs, to altitude to test with top scientists, Callum, not your armchair opinion while you're pursuing your paycheck and pension from the power
fuck you,
structure.
Callum.
Callum continues, while the interview has been extensively discredited by who? Callum, people like you? Because that's the only baseless discrediting that's occurred. And he says, mocked other media coverage, it is only one example of the spike in chemtrail beliefs. He doesn't use the geoengineering term there, and that's part of their ploy to use that term, the discrediting term. Author Callum Lister Matheson finishes with this. According to psychologist Rob Brotherton, conspiracy theories have a classic heads I win, tails you lose structure. Yes. Ever more transparent.
Because us so-called conspiracy theorists
media
have been always right.
Quoting psychologists that imply we're all crazy for acknowledging what all but the clinically blind can see taking place in our formerly blue skies.
They're in denial.
Listening to the weekend's
Fucking right they are. You know, if you're fucking just totally brainwashed if you think that's fucking normal.
installment of Global Alert News, the Bad News Broadcast, installment number 539, December 6, 2025. This is Dane Wigington, your host. Global Alert News brought to you by geoengineeringwatch.org, the largest and most visited website in the world on the subject of climate intervention operations known as geoengineering. Global Alert News aired on numerous AM and FM stations around the country. If any radio station near you is willing to air the GAN broadcast in order to inform their listeners of what Matrix Media won't mention, have them contact us at admin@geoengineeringwatch.org. We'll grant them access to our weekly broadcast file for free, of course. Recordings of the commercial-free, non-political Global Alert News Hour broadcast can be found on the homepage of geoengineeringwatch.org under the recent column and on the Dane Wigington YouTube channel. If you're on our email list, please put us on your email contact book so that our mailouts don't go to the spam files. Please help us to share the groundbreaking documentary, The Dimming, which fully exposes the climate engineering atrocities. This is the best tool.
Yeah, everybody
we
hook up
have.
to his
Most
website
complete,
and get
most
notifications.
testing,
He'll send you
most experts,
alerts.
most top officials, all in this documentary. Best way to share is by circulating the direct link to The Dimming by email directly from the homepage of geoengineeringwatch.org. Sharing directly helps us to...
What'd you say there?
This guy right here?
Yeah, that's his website there in chat. Do you want me to put it in private chat?
Yeah. So I don't have to go to YouTube.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, sign up for notifications and he'll keep you updated. I love the circular chemtrails in this image, eh? That's what clouds do. They just do little circles, turn off and on.
Overcome social media censorship. When viewing our YouTube of The Dimming or Global Alert News or any other Geoengineering Watch video on YouTube, please subscribe, share, and comment. All of this helps us to circulate critically important data to a much wider audience. How do we reach those that still aren't looking up? Start a conversation with Geoengineering Watch awareness-raising materials. They can be found on our homepage. Our only goal, provide activists what they need to move this fight forward. Extremely high-quality, printed, full-color materials, shocking images, pictures worth 1,000 words. We have scannable business cards, bumper stickers, all effective tools to help strike up a conversation.
Hey, you can plaster the city with Geoengineering Watch stuff.
Printed materials for less than our cost of producing and shipping. We also have hoodies, shirts, various colors, most sizes, all excellent conversation starters. If we can expose what's taking place in our skies, we have a chance of stopping it from the inside out. We must awaken our military brothers and sisters to what they're participating in, literally their own demise, not something for the greater good as they're being told. They need to wake up and stand down. To all those that are steadfastly committed to exposing and halting the climate engineering atrocities in our skies, my deepest respect and regard to you. We march together in this battle. Let's continue that march until we stop what's taking place above our heads. From sfgate.com, something big is blocking California's winter storms. Here's what that means. Yes, something big is. It's called a ionosphere heater-induced high-pressure dome. I've been over this so many times. It completely blocks precipitation from entering the region, spins the upper level wind currents clockwise around that dome, which takes the moisture with it. It's chemically nucleated. They're fire hosing it into Oregon and Washington and pushing that moisture further east to cool down regions further east. And we have a flow coming from the Gulf of Mexico also. Warm atmospheric flows of moisture from the record warm Gulf of Mexico that suddenly just flashes into snow. You can see it on the water vapor radars. There's no meteorological or science explanation for warm moisture that just flashes out into frozen precipitation. You can see it on the radar. These clowns at Weather Channel, Weather Central, Weather Nation, how do they sleep at night? How do they face themselves in the mirrors? How do they face their children? I don't know. I literally don't know. The report says San Francisco's wettest month climatologically isn't shaping up to follow the traditional script this year.
Damn, sorry about that. I don't even know why that played.
They continue. The city averages more rain in December than any other month, but California's precipitation forecast
you just dropped off, that's all.
Is to close out 2025
I'm gonna jump off here in 10
a very
minutes.
Grim way.
All right.
Effects of stratospheric
I said that over an hour ago,
says, and
I
hints
wanted
of
to hear
La
this
Nina
guy.
influence on the
Look at that. That is insane. Look at that, man. Where's that over?
I don't know. Doesn't say. He just rolls random pictures of the sky, you know, while he's
Looks
talking.
like an oil spill.
Yeah. Yeah, you here when I showed the image of cloud computing?
No.
Yeah. Well, fog computing, sorry. So this is an actual physical representation of fog computing and cloud computing. It is above you. It is in the sky. So they put out this fog and they use what's called edge technology, and it makes devices appear closer to each other, right? So their signals pass and transfer much faster. And then there's the cloud that's above fog computing in the sky. It's actually physically in the sky, part of it. And yeah, it's really kind of bizarre that they're actually using our atmosphere for computing, storage, and all that kind of shit.
jet stream. The influence on the jet stream is what I just described. Ionosphere heater-induced high-pressure dome that rotates everything clockwise around it. That's exactly what's happening. It says the jet stream are likely to steer storms away from the West Coast for at least the first half of December. This is literally the scheduled weather. Literally. These people are literally reading scripts.
How can they know that far ahead?
Inversions are
They
predicted
can't.
to continue too. That means many days
Unless
are
you-
warmer
unless you
in
create
Lake
it.
Tahoe than in Sacramento, as the valley remains shrouded in fog. Again, as I stated earlier, lower atmosphere is stratifying, not mixing. Climate engineering aerosols and the frequency transmissions used to manipulate them are radically derailing atmospheric convection. Then the report states exactly what I've been stating. Here it is, quote, this clockwise spinning area of high pressure will prevent Pacific storms from forming along the West Coast, deflecting them into Canada and Washington and Oregon before dropping southward further inland. That's exactly what I've stated. How many times? West Coast skies are expected to remain free of clouds. Oh, they're not free of clouds. They're full of geoengineering spray dispersions filthing out our skies every single day. Literally filthy, dirty hue to the skies, and no one seems to notice. They won't have a choice for much longer, and many are finally, thankfully, beginning to wake up. And the pitiful attempt
See you, brown-eyed
of
girl.
Matrix Media and all those who serve them to marginalize this most dire threat of all is also breaking down. The report then says, bad news for the Sierra snowpack. Warm weather will probably continue to melt away snow. We don't see this in Matrix Media headlines, do we? We just see the sensationalized snow, 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 cold, cold, cold. We don't see these other areas that are the climate sacrifice zones for the chemical winter that's being conducted further east where most Americans live. We need to look at the whole picture, not just a soundbite from it. The report then says this, wintertime high-pressure systems along the West Coast are becoming more common. Search geoengineeringwatch.org, engineered drought catastrophe, target California. I did well over a decade
Oh,
ago.
yeah, they kept water out of
Everything I
there for
said in that
years.
report is exactly what has happened, what is happening, and now we have some admission coming of the circumstances that are causing the problems, but not the core that's causing the circumstances, which is climate engineering. They say long-range weather models, which is the scripted, scheduled weather, still favor drier than normal conditions until at least New Year's Day. Really? They know it's going to change on New Year's Day? By the way, the chemical cold fog broke a 103-year-old temperature record in San Francisco. This is chemical fog. This is not nature. Another headline, same theme, from reflectornews.com. Winter storms blanket the east, the chemical winter kind, while the U.S. West is wondering, where's the snow? Quote, how many Americans know this? How many Americans look at this? Go back to 2013 or 14 when they hyped up the Boston snow, middle of winter. That's all we saw in Matrix Media. What didn't they tell us? Oh, yeah, 14,000 foot up in the Sierras in the middle of winter, there was no snow, nothing. Texas, the big deep freeze in Texas a few years ago, while Dallas was below zero, same day. It was 33 degrees warmer. It was above freezing at the North Pole when Dallas, Texas was below zero. People need to look at the big picture and they'll understand just how damaged this planet is and just how much climate engineering is totally derailing and disrupting everything while simultaneously contaminating the entire planet. Every bite of food, every drink of water, every breath we take, contaminated. And that's showing up in science studies. I've covered that week after week after week, from the polymer, microfibers and nanofibers showing up in every human organ, including the brain. And it's infiltrating everything we eat. How long can this continue? We see the insects are already completely succumbing, 80 to 90% collapse, terrestrial and aquatic, forests are collapsing, fisheries are collapsing. How much longer can this continue? Obviously not much longer. While people are pursuing shiny metals as if that's going to save them from what's coming, good luck with that. Watch the film The Road, as I've stated before, and that's a downplayed version of what's coming. Take a look at that film. And
What film?
hiding from this won't help. It's not going to change anything.
One of the films on his
The only way we
website.
have any chance of changing the
Usually,
trajectory is to get on deck and start
hold on.
helping.
We'll go
There's a
back
bit
for
more
a
from
sec.
this report. The snowpack in the Sierras was far below
I want to
everything,
write it down before I jump off
simultaneously
here.
contaminating
I want to watch
the
it.
entire planet. Every bite of food, every drink of water, every breath we take.
Because a lot of
contaminated.
people
And
say
that's
that
showing up in
metals,
science studies. I've
creating
covered that
metals
week
will
after week
save,
after week,
but
from the polymer,
yeah.
microfibers and nanofibers.
He usually pushes the
showing up
dimming.
in every human organ, including the brain, and it's infiltrating everything we eat. How long can this continue? You see the insects are already completely succumbing, 80 to 90% collapse, terrestrial and aquatic, forests are collapsing, fisheries are collapsing. How much longer can this continue? Obviously not much longer. While people are pursuing shiny metals as if that's going to save them from what's coming, good luck with that. Watch the film The Road, as I've stated before. And that's
The Road, okay.
That's a
Thanks, Craig.
downplayed version of what's coming. Take a look at that film and ponder that. Hiding from this won't help. It's not going to change anything. The only way we have any chance of changing this trajectory is to get on deck and start helping. Here's a bit more from this report. The snowpack in the Sierras was far below normal across most of the West. Denver didn't see its first measurable snowfall until November 29th, more than a month past normal, and its latest first snow date on record. Don't see much Matrix headlines sensationalizing that, do we? They then say this, real genius.
So it says the road is the closest thing to a real apocalypse.
There's evidence that we tend to have bigger fire seasons after low snow winters. Wow. What a revelation of pure genius from the so-called scientist that dead, dry forests facilitate more
be the bearer of bad news, everyone, but
pay the so-called
I had to
scientists
jump
the big
off here
bucks,
and go
isn't it?
do some things.
Dead, dry forests
All right.
earn more. Who would
I'll
have
catch you
thought
later.
that? Pure genius from the Power Structure Program.
Have a good one.
Thanks,
so-called
Max,
experts.
for sharing this.
For the
Maybe
record,
we'll
Sierra's
finish it
snowpack
next
has been
time.
declining
I'm
for
definitely
decades,
going to
according
check
to
it
some
out,
studies,
his
as much
website.
as
Yeah,
the
it's
last
almost
100
over.
years,
So there's a
declining
few more
overall.
minutes of it,
Search
and that's it.
geoengineering,
But he's got lots of
watch.org,
videos. He keeps you up to date. You can look back
geoengineering,
at
and the
old
dying
storms
of
like
the
Helena
trees.
and
Learn what most
what was it,
would rather
Ivan,
not know.
and see that
How's it
they
going in the land
geoengineered
down
those
under?
things into
Not
existence.
so well. From news.com Australia,
Yeah,
extreme fire danger warning.
he's got a lot of good stuff. All right, have a good
I'm
one.
going to check them out.
Oh, there's the link for the road. Eyes Wide Shut did it. Thank you.
Oh, and peace to the chat, man. I appreciate everyone coming through. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, evening, wherever you are. Hopefully it's greatness. I'm out.